Alright, we're live on there. We're live on Rumble. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for an important and interesting happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart... Well, actually, just comes from the this website, onthisday.com, that I'm right here, yeah. Anyway, for links to the sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below. And all links gathered throughout the show will, of course, be in the in that section after the live stream. Sorry, I forgot to close my blinds. I got kind of caught up with some things. So, anyway, I am Xander, and you viewer, of course, are you. We will be joined by the Loon, hopefully, in a little bit. Today is Sun's Day. No, it's Moon's Day, not Sun's Day. It's Moon's Day. aka Monday, December 11th, 2023. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? 359, Honorius, first known prefect of the city of Constantinople, took office after the Emperor Constantinius created a new senate for the East. Oh, it's pretty cool. And we have 1282, Llywelyn ab Gruffaid, the last native and independent prince of Wales, was killed at the Battle of Orion Bridge at Kilmary, near Boolis Wells, South Wales, by forces of Edward I of England. He had reigned from 1259 and is known as Lillywhith the Last. Well, you know, he was the last native and independent prince of Wales, so, yeah, there goes that bloodline right there, yikes. So, you know, back in the day, you know, when even the nobles were at threat, well, you know, the nobles are still at threat, they just forgot that today. Anyway, we also have 1395, John Eleanor Reichener, a male cross-dressing prostitute, was brought to court in London for committing that detestable, unmentionable, and ignominious vice. In late medieval England's only recorded case on same-sex intercourse, verdict is unknown. Wow. Yikes, man. Like, you know, this is why it was hush-hush back in the day. Like, you know... There's still persecution and such throughout the world, but not in the U.S. Really. But this is wow. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
And like I'll reread this because this is a pretty wild article right here. 1395. John Eleanor Reichener, a male cross-dressing prostitute, was brought to court in London for, quote, committing that detestable, unmentionable, and ignominious vice, end quote, in late medieval England's only recorded case on same-sex intercourse, and the verdict is unknown. So, wow. Like...
1395?
I know, right?
Huh.
Like, that's...
Yeah.
That's a pretty wild article right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to 1419, heretic Nicholas Serrurier was exiled from Florence. Alright, well, he was a heretic, so...
Yeah.
At least that's better than getting destroyed, like, you know, in Warhammer 40k, you know? If you're a heretic, they just kill you on the spot. Like, ceremonial execution, you know, all that stuff.
Sounds about right.
Yep. 1477, Duchess Maria of Burgundy ended the Great Privilege in States of the Netherlands. Now, what is that? The Great Privilege. Like, let me just look this up here really. Here we go, Great Privilege. It was an instrument signed by Mary of Burgundy on February 11th, 1477, which reconfirmed a number of privileges to the States General of the Netherlands under this agreement. The provinces and towns of Flanders, Brabant, Hainaut, and Holland recovered all the local and communal rights which had been abolished by the decrees of the preceding Dukes of Burgundy, Charles the Bold, and Philip the Good, in their efforts to create a centralized state on the French model out of their separate holdings in the Low Countries. Whoa, that's some pretty heavy stuff right there. So, Great Privilege. So it was giving back the rights that were slowly being taken away.
From dukes and things.
Yeah, by dukes.
By dukes, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's really, you know, relatable to what's happening today. Like, you know, like all the stuff, you know, like the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, that's just one example. Like all the stuff that's been slowly, methodically stripped away over the past 30, 40, 50 some odd years. Like,
what the founders were really fearful of, and why there was such a fight, took so long to really settle the Constitution, They're afraid of government overreach, overpower.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
So, moving on up, we got 1477. 1602, surprise attack by forces of the Duke of Savoy and his brother-in-law, Philip III of Spain, was repelled by citizens of Geneva, commemorated since as Fête de l'Escalade. I didn't pronounce that right at all. But
you don't think so?
I really don't believe so. But yeah, okay, they pushed them back. That's cool.
Yeah.
1618, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Tsardom of Russia agreed to the truce of Deluino, ending the Polish-Muscovite War that had lasted between 1605 and 1618. That is a 13-year war.
Yeah.
That's a pretty substantial right there.
Well, it used to last a lot longer.
Oh, 100 Years' War,
yeah.
And all that stuff. So, 1620, the Mayflower Pilgrims came ashore in Plymouth Bay, traditionally thought to be at Plymouth Rock, Massachusetts. New style is December 21st, or whatever NS means. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's really interesting. Like all this talk about ocean levels rising and all that stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, see, the Pilgrims landed 1620 here.
Yeah.
At what it was believed to be Plymouth Rock.
Right.
And Plymouth Rock is still at sea level. Nothing's changed in 400 years. That's a little weird,
Yeah, I guess.
Like, unless they moved it. Like, I'm not entirely
No.
sure. But I mean, I've seen the argument online. It's like, all these people talking about, climate change, yada yada yada. Which, the climate change is real. It does happen. But as far as everybody doomsaying about the ocean levels rising, and because of all the polar melting and all that whatnot.
Yeah.
Unless they move the physical rock, because there is the actual physical rock there,
Yeah.
Unless they moved it.
And the one thing I always hear about, it's not as big as you think.
It's not. It's just this crappy little rock in a hole in the ground, actually.
Yeah.
But it's right there, on the sand. And unless they actually moved it, then it's been at sea level this entire time, 400 years, nothing's changed. So, Anyway, 1665, Messiah Shavati Sui Festival in Samarithia. Okay. Messiah Festival. Cool. 1688, King James II was captured in Kent after trying to flee to France upon the arrival of William of Orange. Alright, so remember when, I believe we spoke about this yesterday, his wife and child, or was that the day before?
I don't know.
Fleeing, or something.
I don't remember.
Huh. 1719, the first recorded display of Aurora Borealis in North American colonies, New England. Oh, cool.
Mm.
So that must be way north, though. But still, that's kind of south when you think about it. Was the Aurora Borealis?
No, that's not that south. But I don't know.
Maine isn't even in the Arctic
Yeah.
Circle, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. How far south does it go? I mean, there are recordings, rare. But, being seen as far as northern Japan. I remember talking about that. But that was after some weird, crazy thing. So, which, by the way...
I'd love to see it, to tell you the truth.
By the way, you missed it yesterday. One of the things we spoke about, speaking of, the Aurora Borealis and the sun and everything, there is a sunspot. A hole is opened up on the sun, big enough to fit, 63 Earths or something.
Mm.
It was crazy. It's a big old dark spot on the sun. It's like it's opening up its mouth or whatever. It's horrifying.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do they have any predictions of what that means to us?
We didn't really look much into it. We just, we're just talking about it and all that stuff.
When did that happen? Yes.
Well, we spoke about it yesterday.
But what year was it? Do you remember?
It's recent. Alice submitted it actually earlier yesterday or something.
Maybe it wasn't in their history show.
No, it wasn't in the history. It was it was the Peanut, because I know you weren't here for the Peanuts, and we didn't have a history show yesterday.
Right.
So that's right, we didn't have a history show yesterday. It must have been on Saturday. Anyway, moving on up to 1730, Voltaire's tragedy Brutus appeared in Paris. All right, I only brought that up because it's Voltaire, and we all know about Brutus. He's the one who killed Caesar, right, or something.
Sounds right. I can't.
Brutus was one of the 31 people who stabbed him to death. 1792, France's King Louis XVI went on trial, accused of high treason and crimes against the state. Yikes! So I believe let's see, Yep, execution by guillotine, January 21st, 1793. So that's the next year. So yeah, obviously they found him guilty and killed him next month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a month and a half, give or take, from now.
That's the death penalty stuff, that treason and all that.
Yeah, well, France, doesn't mess around. They didn't, at least. 1812, we have the first newspaper in Curacao Gazette and commercial advertiser. Cool. 1816, citizens of Geneva thwarted Savoyard invaders. That's an interesting way to say it. They thwarted them.
Fought back, I guess.
Yeah, well, they repelled them and all that stuff. But we don't say thwart that often.
No, we don't.
So I was just like, yeah, that's an interesting way to say it. 1816, Indiana became the 19th state of the Union, and this is actually leading up because I believe because this is when it really started. The lead up to the Civil War, as all things go, it starts off political.
Of course, yeah.
Now, what a lot of people don't realize is, at around this time, and I believe, this is when it's first going to start. So what I'm saying is, for the next month or so, we're going to be seeing a lot of states being admitted to the Union and all that stuff.
Okay.
That's you have a battle in Washington between anti-slavery and pro-slavery, politics and all that stuff, and the North and the South. Or whatever. And I'm not explaining this that well, but essentially they started admitting new states to the Union to have another seat on their side,
right.
or to balance things out if the opposing one, has a one up on them. And the majority of our states were created during that war.
Didn't realize.
Yeah. It's all to have a one up or to balance things out, or all that stuff.
What it means, yeah.
And then it wasn't being enforceable. Actually, it was enforceable, but it was all that stuff wasn't being enforced in the northern states and everything. And the principle of our nation is no taxation without representation.
Right.
And if we're gonna sit there and say, okay, we will give you this, if we play the game and we what's the word, compromise, with an opposing party, then you got to back up your words with actions. Especially if you're a government, and you have laws to uphold and all that stuff. We weren't abiding by our promises to the southern states involving things about slavery and whatnot, escape slaves, send them back, which we didn't, and all that stuff. So hey, we're paying taxes and you're not backing up what you said to appease us. What the hell?
Yeah.
And then the justification was very valid for them splitting off. They really had a reason to, And then
well, everybody just looks at it as slavery, but that wasn't
that was
an issue.
That was their economy, though.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and once you start messing with a man's money, there's really nothing more you can mess with that deserves, some violence. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So, that whole rant brought to you by Indiana becoming the 19th state of the Union. But still, it's really interesting.
Yeah,
the majority of our states, in the Civil War before the violence.
Yep.
Crazy, huh? Anyway, moving on up to 1844, the first dental use of nitrous oxide in Hartford, Connecticut. Hey, good news for people like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, knock me out. 1862, the Battle of Fredericksburg in Virginia began between Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army of Northern Virginia and the Union Army of the Potomac, commanded by Major General Ambrose Burnside. So we were just talking about the battle before the war, and now we're in the war. And what's really interesting is Ambrose Burnside. You want to know why his name sounds so familiar?
Why?
Sideburns.
Oh.
That's where they come from. The Burnside. Look at his beard. So if you grew, those are sideburns from his namesake, I believe. You know what? Let's look it up, actually. Where does sideburns come from? Sideburns take their name from General Ambrose Burnside, a Civil War veteran and Rhode Island senator. He was not a great general, but remember his luxuriant facial hair to this day. The original sideburns were called Burnsides. So yeah, and that's kind of like a biker beard type thing, So, yeah. So I was right.
It just ended up flipping.
Yeah. 1866, first yacht race across the Atlantic Ocean. Schooners Fleetwing, Vasta, and the Henrietta, with New York Playboy Gordon Bennett on board, left Sandy Hook for the Sicily Islands. The Henrietta won. I wonder if that's the same. I don't even want to mention that, but like that's a that's a phrase that's
known.
Yeah. 1872, Pinnicky Benton Stewart, Pinch Black, took office as the first African-American U.S. governor in Louisiana. Okay. Louisiana, of all places. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1878, the Anglo-Zulu War. This is before the war, actually. This is leading up to it. British High Commissioner Henry Bartle Frere presented an ultimatum to the Zulu Kingdom to submit to British rule or face war. And, like, we were not right in this at all. We were an invading force coming in and just taking, like...
Well, we were
submit.
Britain.
No. Well, I mean, like, by we, I mean the British people, the West.
Yeah.
I don't mean the U.S. But so British specifically.
Yeah.
Like, but the French did this. Spain, of course, did this. With Central and South America. What they did with Mexico and the Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayas, all that stuff. So I mean, like, but could you imagine, that mentality? Submit to British rule or face war? Are you kidding me? Wow. Like, huh. It's kind of funny. Like, like, as the meme goes, back in the day, the British used to rule a third of the world.
Yeah.
Now the third world rules British. Anyway, 1882, Boston's Bijou Theater, the first American playhouse lit exclusively by electricity, held its first performance. W.S. Gilbert and Arthur Sullivan's comic opera Iloathy. Okay, whatever that one is, but that's pretty cool. The first playhouse lit exclusively by electricity. Before that, it was all like gas lamps or candles and all that stuff. Yeah. That's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
Like electricity, we take it for granted today. It's only been around for like 140 years. It's not really that old. So,
it isn't.
Yeah.
Oil lamps were the thing.
And speaking of the things and whatnot, 1888, French Panama Canal Company failed.
The what company?
The French were trying to make the Panama Canal.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So there was 2 or 3 different things that tried to make the Panama Canal. I know France was before France, and then there was us, and then we actually did it.
We did it.
But like, you know what? I know we've looked into this before, but how many attempts Panama Canal? Let's see here. How many people tried to build a Panama Canal? No, yada yada. Okay, that's not telling me what I'm trying to find. Which country failed in its attempt to build? Yeah, that was France. The Panama Canal was first developed following the failure of a French construction team in the 1880s. Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just France and the U.S. I'm not sure. Because it's not...
That's all I know of.
Yeah. That's all I know of, too. Anyway, 1893, 11 fishing ships washed up at Wadden Sea. 22 were killed. There must have been some kind of, like, tsunami or something. And in 1896, Chief Electrical Engineer of the British Post Office, William Preece, gave a public lecture in London called Telegraphy Without Wires, praising the work of 22-year-old Guglielmo Marconi. Yes, we've spoken about Marconi before. But yeah, wireless telegraphy. So, like, a telegraph.
Yeah.
But transmitting it wirelessly.
Yeah.
Like, to this day, like I ask you, like people think they're so smart. Do you know how wireless technology works? Do you know how we can, like, ping things on a radio sound frequency, pick that up, transfer that from, something to something else?
Yeah.
Both receiving and, sending.
Yeah.
And wireless, like sending a picture.
Yeah.
That was what, 1936 or whatever? Like the first wireless facsimile, the first fax?
Yeah, that's surprising.
Oh my god, dude.
That was.
Like people just need to stop and understand, okay, what is in my hand?
Yeah.
Like this magic rectangle. Can you truly comprehend, what's in here?
To make that work? We just take it for granted.
Yeah.
It's part of your life.
Yeah. Joe Rogan has a bit, that just covers all of that, just really great. Anyway, you know what? I'm going to add that to my underbar. Hold on a second. Joe Rogan Yeah, it was this one, Devolution of Stupid People. So copy link. Yeah, like, you know, people should watch that one, honestly. That expresses everything I have to say about that point. Anyway, moving on up, 1902, the U.S. signed a treaty with Cuba allowing for a 20% reduction of tariff rates on imported Cuban products. Alright. So working with them a little bit better. 1 year later, 1903, British forces under MacDonald and Young Husband marched into Tibet. That's interesting. But once again, you know, remember they owned a third of the world, so...
True.
But, like... Oh, that's right, they did own Hong Kong, so they wouldn't be that far from Tibet. Huh. That's interesting. Was Tibet under British control, do you know?
Sounds like it.
Hold on a second. Was Tibet under British control? Let's see here. In the 19th century, the British had conquered Burma and Sikkim, with the whole southern flank of Tibet coming under the control of the British Indian Empire. Okay. Well, that was India.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, Tibet. That's right. Tibet, like, is kind of like
right
between
there, yeah.
India and China. What else do we got here? 1905. 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 degrees Celsius in Rivadavia, Argentina, South American record. Wow. December 11th and 120 degrees? Hell.
That's the southern hemisphere, so that's
I know,
for
but
them, but still. That's hot.
Yeah, that's hot. 1905, a workers' uprising occurred, establishing the Shuliavaka Republic in Kiev. Huh. Alright. 1906, U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt attacked abuses of the Congo. Alright. You know, probably because, like, the whole, like, what was that, political document that, like that the Western Hemisphere is our territory, you know, the Monroe Doctrine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. 1907, New Zealand Parliament buildings almost completely destroyed by fire. Yikes. That's not good.
No.
2 years later, 1909, colored moving pictures demonstrated at Madison Square Garden, New York City. Colored moving pictures. Animation. Colored animation. 1909. Like, you know, once again, the technology, like, you know...
Well, animation is drawings.
Well, yeah, but this is color.
I know. Of
Yeah.
moving pictures, though, not animation.
Well, it's still, like...
Yeah.
Well...
No, okay. Yeah, okay.
Whatever the moving pictures are, okay?
Yeah.
Now, okay. If it's a colored photograph, then that means that we've achieved colored photographs. That's another technological advancement. If it's moving pictures of that caliber, then there's that. If it's just animation, it's just people drawing stuff.
Yeah.
So... if it's actual photographs, you know, that's even more technologically advanced. And so, I don't know. It just blows my mind. You know what people have figured out throughout antiquity. Anyway, 1913, Mona Lisa recovered 2 years after it was stolen from the Louvre Museum.
Oh, I didn't
Dang.
know it was stolen once.
Oh, it had been stolen multiple times.
Has it?
Oh yeah. Actually, hold on. Let's see here. How many times Mona Lisa stolen? The Mona Lisa has been stolen once, but has been vandalized many times. It was stolen on August 21st, 1911, by an Italian Louvre employee who was driven to the act by his Italian patriotism. What? So, he loves his country, so he's going to steal the Mona Lisa. That makes sense. But yeah, here we go, 1913, so 2 years. So that, yeah. So it's only been stolen once. Okay, I thought it had been stolen more than that. 1914, Stockton Street Tunnel in San Francisco was completed. Alright. 1917, this is not good. 13 black soldiers were hanged for participation in Houston riots. Yikes. Not good. So you know, what is the Houston riot?
I've never heard of it.
Let's look that up here really quick. Houston riots. Let's see, 1917. I've clicked this before. Also known as the Camp Logan Mutiny, was a mutiny and riot by 156 soldiers from the all-black 24th Infantry Regiment of the U.S. Army, taking place on August 23rd, 1917 in Houston, Texas. Okay, so, well, that's background. Shortly after the U.S. declared war on Germany in the spring of 1917, the War Department rushed to construct 2 new military installations. Yeah. The regiment traveled to Houston by train at their camp, precipitating causes. Well, if anybody wants to read more about this, like, because Houston riots. Did I spell Houston right? Houston. Yeah. I want to know like what caused this. The soldiers soon received reports of impending violence by an angry white mob. Oh, okay. So it was angry Southerners not happy that there were blacks in their NIMBY. Okay, I see. So that's what happened. But then we hung the soldiers defending themselves. That is.
Well, I don't know if you have the full story.
That can't be right.
That doesn't sound
right. That's well. I mean, like
it could have been. Who knows?
Things were really different back then. Yeah. Ugh. I got to read more about this, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1917, German-occupied Lithuania proclaimed independence from Russia. All right, I'm all for independence. 1919, Bull Weevil Monument dedicated in Enterprise, Alabama. What? Bull Weevil, like the little worm?
I believe that was a political group, wasn't it? Like the Democrats and Republicans.
Oh, here we go. Bull Weevil. Downtown Enterprise, Alabama. There we go. Prominent landmark and tribute erected by the citizens of Enterprise to their appreciation to an insect, the boll weevil, for its profound influence on the area's agriculture and economy. I thought you were right, but apparently you weren't.
First time this year. I almost made it the entire year with no mistake. Damn, I just missed it.
Close, but no cigar. You always have next year.
Yeah, you know? Give it a shot again. Start from scratch.
Yeah, but it's all the way down there. So it really vandalism. Oh my god. So it's a monument towards an insect. So let's see, bull. Weevil monument. All right. Got capital the W there. All right. So anyway, what else do we got here? 1925, Pope Pius XI published encyclical Quas Primas, and I a couple years ago started paying more attention to the encyclicals because they're basically religious memos, oh, did you get the memo in the office? Did you get the TPS report? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like okay, this is what we're gonna focus on, in this quarter or whatever. But Quas Primas provides a powerful application of the meaning of this feast for our practice as believers. Okay, so Christmas dinner and stuff is coming up. So, Christ must reign in our minds, which should assent with perfect submission and firm belief to revealed truths and to the doctrines of Christ. Whatever that means. So, if anybody wants to read more about this encyclical, yeah, I'm going to add this down here. What was it called? Quas Primas. Quas Primas. So, yeah, there you go. Just get you started on that little potential rabbit hole and stuff. 1926, Leo O'Connor is unbeaten on 1-4-3 as Queensland wins their first Sheffield Shield match by 5 wickets versus New South Wales at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
Yeah, cricket.
Yay! I put that in there in hopes that you'd be here today. You are. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
1928, Buenos Aires police thwarted an assassination attempt on President-elect Herbert Hoover, prevented anarchists from bombing his train. Holy crap.
There's that word again, thwarted.
Yeah, well, was it thwarted? Was it thwarted?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, no, what good goes to show, especially when abroad, the heads of state need security.
Yeah.
Yeah. They try to bomb his train. Good lord. 1930, Bank of the United States closed in New York City. Ooh. Well, that's kind of ironic.
That's good.
It's kind of ironic. We lost the Bank of the United States, and the Bank of America was actually originally the Bank of Italy.
Yeah.
And Italy is the inventor in fascism, and with how the Bank of America acts, and apple didn't fall far from the tree in that aspect. So it's just 1931, Japan left the gold standard. I did not know they did that. That's not intelligent. So, 1931 as well. Statute of Westminster gave complete legislative independence to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Ireland in the Free States, and Newfoundland, which was then not part of Canada. So later did become part of Canada.
Yeah.
So, but still Canada is independent for the most part. We have this conversation every now and then, but to a certain degree, they still I'm not sure if they answer, but they still operate under the British Crown to some percentage, whereas Australia is completely and totally independent.
Right.
I
don't know to what degree, but you're right. They still...
Because they have parliament, they have prime ministers, they operate under a similar government system, and they still, their currency has British monarchs on them. So,
Well, they still recognize as a figurehead the King of England, and they still look at that as their king, but that's a figurehead. They rule themselves.
Yes. Yeah. It's kind of funny. I almost corrected you with Queen of England. I'm like, wait a minute, no, not anymore.
No.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
My whole life,
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Your whole life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not anymore.
Well, up to when it happened. Anyway, 1932, San Francisco's coldest day, 27 degrees Fahrenheit, and it snows. All right. Yeah. 1934, the 1935 All-Star Game was assigned to be in Cleveland. Okay. While that was going on, we have the first Toronto Maple Leaf penalty shot, Conchinier unsuccessful versus Rangers. Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Then the National League voted to permit night baseball up to 7 games per home team.
For the year, 7 games, huh?
Mm-hmm. 1936. Edward VIII announced in a radio broadcast that he is abdicating the British throne to marry Wallis Simpson. So, all this hoopla people have been making over, because within the past 10 years, there's been 2 or 3 people abdicating their throne to pursue relationships.
I don't know.
It's been 2 people at least, I think.
I have no idea.
But it's interesting, all the way back in 1936, we have, somebody else,
That's the famous one.
Ah, okay. But still, that aspect, it's not that outlandish,
Right.
Because, the media always, sensationalizes everything. It's like,
Well,
oh,
it was
my
outlandish
God.
in 1936. There was a big hoopla.
Oh, well, of course. Well, that's what I'm saying. You think about all the stuff that's happened, recently, with, Prince Harry and all that crap,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Did he abdicate his throne? Or whatever?
He gave up. He doesn't have the throne.
Or his royal...
He did, but I believe they've reinstituted him now.
I don't know, but the way they sensationalize it, they make it seem like it's never happened before. It's like, no, it has.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, another reason why history is important, so that way people know things are not as important as they seem to be on the media. Don't buy into the crap. So, don't allow your ignorance to be used to milk you. Let's see here. What else do we got? 1937, Italy withdrew from the League of Nations. That's, I was just talking about the fascism and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that was just a couple years before the outbreak. And they probably did that because they wanted to go to war with various African nations to take over for colonies and whatnot. Because they literally, and I don't mean, I don't know how close it was, but I'm talking an aspect of months, weeks, maybe even just days. They finished a war in what was it? Ethiopia, I believe, to take it over as a colony. And then Germany invaded Poland with.
You're talking Italy here now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Italy finished a war with
Yeah,
Ethiopia.
Okay.
So probably why they backed out of the League of Nations. They wouldn't be able to do that without starting political problems. So they just backed out, without having to deal with their, BS, so to speak. So, how politics are.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's like Turkey just left NATO.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I did not know that.
Yeah, it happened a few days ago.
Oh, no. You think they're going to work with Russia for a pension movement?
I don't know how. They're already talking to Russia.
Oh, man. Okay.
More about Ukraine than anything.
You know what? Let me put that into the peanut right now, because I do want to talk about that, actually. Let me do that really quick. Hold on a second. Where's the peanut? Okay, we'll do that in the Rumble peanut. So, Turkey left NATO. Already talking with Russia. All right. Anyway, let's move on up here. 1938 National Football League Championship, Polo Grounds, New York City. New York Giants defeated Green Bay Packers 23-17. Record title game attendance 48,120.
That's a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Whose team is the Packers again?
Alice's.
Oh, that's right.
It wasn't me this time, Alice. It wasn't me.
I was asking. There are fans. I'm just asking who they were.
1940, Russian General Georgy Zhukov warned of German assault. Oh, good old Georgy. No, yeah, like he was portrayed in Death of Stalin. He was a real badass. Yeah, once again, born in a peasant's family, worked his way up and all that stuff. Like, he was a ruthless guy. So, like, he got the job done. 1941, Australian State Cricket Association, South Australia, Victoria, Queensland, and New South Wales decide at meetings with new Prime Minister John Curtin to abandon all interstate first-class matches for the duration of World War II.
Cricket.
So, at least it,
They banned it, though, for a while.
Yeah, well, they didn't ban it, they just suspended it until the end of the war.
Yeah.
So, 1941, Axis powers, Nazi Germany, and Fascist Italy declared war against the United States. Yep. Now it's official. While that was going on, the Dutch government in London declared war on Italy. Once again, we spoke the other day about the Dutch government. They're in exile. Much like how France eventually became. It probably is by this time as well. But see, I like the energy behind it. But how can you declare war on a country when you don't have one yourself?
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the act. Don't get me wrong. I really appreciate it. But it also, at the same time, it's kind of silly. We, the Dutch government in exile, declare war on Italy. With what? You don't even have a country. What are you doing? I don't know. Anyway, 1941, Japanese attacked Wake Island, the only failed World War II landing. So I guess that was their only failed landing. There's of course, why can't I remember it?
Oh, they took over all kinds of islands.
Oh, yeah, no, but I'm trying to remember specifically. Guadalcanal, I think, was where...
well, we defeated them there, but they took it over.
Well, no. I'm trying to think of a specific moment in history. Douglas MacArthur, when he said he'll be back.
Yeah.
What was that? Guadalcanal? The Philippines. You're right, the Philippines. That's where it was. So, yeah, but this was the only time... the only one of them that they failed. And while that was going on, Japanese occupied Guam. So, what you're talking about, But that's why we, as I said, that's why we put that whole embargo and everything on them, because they were taking everything over, extremely aggressive.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, if we're going to be a world community, we got to do something when a portion of the community is attacking a lot other portions of the community. Otherwise, why are we a community? What's the point? Anyway, 1941 as well, New York Giants acquired future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman Johnny Mize from Cardinals for 3 players and $50,000. I probably said that wrong. Johnny Mize? Mize? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with him.
That's 1941. I'm too far away. Okay. 1944, surprise attack on House of Keeping Axe. 29 prisoners were freed. House of Keeping Axe. What is that? Never heard about that. Odin's Keep Axe House. What? No, hold on a second. Let me just look up this entire article. Surprise attack on House of Keeping Axe. Okay, well that just tells me that it happened. Rescue at Capatum? I'm not sure. Well, I'm not getting anything. Allied war crimes during World War II. Battle of Monte Cassino. I'm getting all sorts of things. So if anybody can tell us more about this House of Keeping Axe in the comments section, that'd be great. 1945, Het Parool published first Captain Rob strip. Is that a comic strip?
I have no idea.
Captain Rob strip? Captain Rob? It said a comic here. Yeah, Adventure Comics. Captain Rob. I'm not getting any images here. Huh.
That's too bad.
Yeah. 1946, Hank Williams began to record on Sterling Label. Now, what is Sterling Label? I'm just running into all sorts of questions here. Oh, okay, so, yeah, okay. I was wondering if it was some kind of type of record or whatever,
no. Like RCA or whatever.
Okay.
They had record companies.
Okay.
Never heard of them, but yeah, they were around at the time.
Huh. In 1946, Spain was suspended from the UN. I wonder what they were... Oh, probably because of... Well, that's after the Second World War.
Yeah.
So, why? I wonder why, because like they had already been under Francisco Franco for a while. Oh, here we go. Convinced that the fascist state was imposed on the Spanish people by force with the help of the Axis powers, which it helped during the war, and did not represent the Spanish people, making it impossible to participate in international affairs of the Spanish people with the United Nations. So basically, the UN was busy, with the UN was formed after World War II. That's right.
It was pretty new, right?
Yeah.
1946 had to be brand new.
Yeah. So they're just like, oh, hey,
so everybody probably transferred from the League of Nations into the UN.
They did.
Kick some out.
Well, they did, and then then they realized. Well, they didn't realize, but they brought forth hey, Spain was just really being, shitty. So let's just kick them out. Never mind them.
They made the UN made their own bylaws, and they probably didn't meet the criteria of the bylaws, like the League of Nations.
Yeah. Anyway, 1946. The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, was established by Resolution 57I of the UN General Assembly. All right.
I didn't know it went back that far.
Yeah. And I still, really wish at least once I had trick-or-treated for UNICEF.
What does that mean?
Well, that was actually, there was a whole, promotional thing. They had commercials and everything. When you went out and trick-or-treated, you went out with your bag of candy. Yeah. But if you signed up for a thing, then they gave you... what you actually uncollapsed it, but it's in a little box, and you went around and instead of candy, you collected a penny from every house.
Oh.
You're trick or treating for UNICEF, and then you send that in, and it's a donation.
Yeah, I got you.
So
I'm trying to equate candy to trick or treat.
No. Instead of candy, may I have a penny, please, instead.
Now you've connected the dots.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. So and I really loved that idea as a kid. I wanted to go out and do that, but I never did. So. But at the same time, it is, kind of sleazeball-y, to turn something, that a kid would enjoy into, a monetary gathering, The
way you explain it, anyways, while you're collecting candy, ask for a penny for UNICEF, not take a penny instead of candy.
Yeah, well, I didn't put that together. I was a stupid kid, Yeah. I'm a stupid adult. Nothing really changed. But, I thought... I could have one or the other.
Oh.
I didn't... Yeah. I mean, hell, here, story time. My first job, my very first job, ever, it was working at Home Goods.
Yeah.
But I could have been working at that Papa John's. When they were looking, I could have been a manager. And I would have been making another, a whole... I think it was $1 or more an hour. Then now this is how stupid I was and probably still am, if not worse, somehow throughout the years, But and I, for whatever reason, the extra dollar, I was I didn't equate it $1 an hour. I just thought it was just an extra $1 on my day. So I'm just well, if I'm going to be spending the extra money I'm making on the bus ride to and from,
gotcha.
Then what am I doing?
Yeah.
But I could have started off, my career as a manager, my life, very first job as a manager, and how different everything could have played out, and just for that one stupid little hiccup, I just wasn't thinking,
Yeah. You don't know how that would have worked out. You may have hated and left in a couple of weeks. Who knows?
Who knows? But with how things went with Home Goods, I don't know. I don't know how things could have been worse. Anyway, moving on up to 1947, Pacific Coast League application for Major League status was rejected. In 1950, British physicist... What?
Pacific Coast League? That was AAA Farm League, Pacific Coast League. The Los Angeles Angels were in the Pacific Coast League.
Oh, okay.
So they were trying to make it a Major League league?
Major League status.
That would be a league. That would be an equivalent to National American League.
Oh, okay. So they were trying to...
Instead, we got, not 47, instead, 10 years later, we got the Dodgers out here. I had no idea they tried to become a Major League.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, see, right there. Questions you don't even know you had.
Yeah.
1950, British physicist Cecil Frank Powell awarded a Nobel Prize in Physics for his study of nuclear processes and the discovery of the Pion. What is the Pion? Let's look it up. It's probably some kind of particle or something. Pion. a meson having a mass of approximately 270 times that of an electron. Oh, okay. So, for further reading on the Pion, I'm going to add this here. So, Pion. I think Pion is spelled some P-E-O-N. Yeah, hence the E. 1951, Joe DiMaggio announces retirement from baseball. Yeah. All right. And 2 years after that, we have KTVA, TV channel 11 in Anchorage, CBS, became Alaska's first television station. Awesome. One more year, 1954, Philadelphia Phillies owners reluctantly purchased Connie Mack Stadium, which is Shibe Park, from the A's. So reluctantly. So he was like, you know, buy it, fine, I will, jeez.
It was probably part of some deal that they didn't want it, but they had to take it as a package if they wanted whatever the other thing was.
Yeah, kind of like how TV bundles work today. Like, you know, I just want to watch this channel. Oh, well, that's too bad. You have to pay $54.77 a month to, and then that comes with this and that and this and that and this. But I'm never going to watch any of that. Well, that's boo-hoo.
Yeah,
you know.
But you have it.
Yeah, well, great. And they wonder why people went to streaming.
Yeah.
Anyway, in 1954, USS Forrestal aircraft carrier christened in Newport News, Virginia. Okay, we got another aircraft carrier to our fleet. 1958, Upper Volta, which is now Burkina Faso, gained autonomy from France. 1959, Emilio G. Segre and Owen Chamberlain were awarded Nobel Prize for Physics for discovery of the antiproton, a subatomic particle. So yeah, you know, we have the protons and antiprotons, you know, and all that stuff. Yeah. 1960, Black Sunday, riot in Algiers, pro-independence demonstrations turned violent, causing the deaths of 114. Yikes. That's not going to look good on your record, you know, on either side, you know. No. 1961, Elvis Presley's Blue Hawaii album went #1 and stayed #1 for 20 weeks.
Wow. That's a long time.
That's a weird way to spell weeks. Why can't you just put in, like you're so strapped for cash, you just, you know, EE. You know, like it'll take you half a second. Like, that sounds like someone who's on such a tight schedule, they're microwaving their Pop-Tarts. Like,
you might want to loosen up your schedule.
Yeah, I know, right? You got it.
Yeah.
Brian Regan, right? Yeah. Yeah. Insert the Pop-Tart vertically. Oh, no. Oh.
What's vertically?
You insert the verdict principle, you throw it out the window. There are instructions. I can confirm. I've looked on the back of a box of Pop-Tarts, and there are instructions to both for toasting and microwaving. Here's that, Brian, your Pop-Tart. You need to loosen up your schedule. Anyway, 1961, JFK provided U.S. military helicopters and crews to South Vietnam. Oh, here we go. 1961, Motown. Remember that?
Of course.
Released, or their records released, Please, Mr. Postman by the Marvelettes. It is the group and the label's first #1 pop song, topping the charts for 13 weeks.
I remember that song well.
Yeah, I want to listen to that. Please, Mr. Postman. Please, Mr. Postman. I'll listen to it after the show. All right. Oh, that's remastered. Oh, the Beatles. No, I want Motown. Oh, what were the Beatles on Motown?
No.
Okay, Motown. Wait, it said the Marvelettes, so hold on a second.
I thought it was the Supremes, but obviously I was wrong. Second time this year.
There we go. The Marvelettes, there we go. That's what I want. Alright. We also have 1964 Time magazine called Susan Sontag one of Manhattan's brightest intellectuals in a review of her groundbreaking essay, Notes on Camp. Alright, whatever that means. And speaking of Time, we're going to have a couple more People of the Year, you know, that, you know, kind of fit in the same pocket as, you know, the German Chancellor did in the 30s that they said, you know, good old, you know, mustache man from Austria. 1964, Che Guevara spoke at the United Nations General Assembly in New York City. An unknown terrorist fired a mortar shell at the building during the speech. Whoa! What the hell?
Evil dude.
Wow.
Killed a lot of people. Yeah,
he did. And, you know, the lefties just celebrate him. They had his shirt, you know, all that stuff. They have no idea what evil they're broadcasting. 1967, 6.5 earthquake in West India killed 170 people. That's a lot, but, you know, in, like, you know, with you know, it being in India, that's actually a low number. Like, you know, I don't know if that's offensive or not. Like, it's true, you know.
Well,
like, it still sucks, you know. Like, because, you know, there's a lot of them, and they don't have the best...
It depends on where it is, you know,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So that's not a fair statement, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, like, you know, I have this other one here, and, you know, this is... I think it kind of rolls into it, pun not intended, but 1967, a 6.6 earthquake, so same date, same year, same area, I think. In Kyangar, India, killed 177, so that's roughly the same amount killed, and injured over 2,000 and damaged the Kolia Dam.
Ooh,
so,
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. So, like, you know, this just... yeah, I don't know why they don't combine these two. I think they are the same thing.
Well,
so,
it could be, and I don't know if they are close to each other. India's pretty big.
True. But, this, you know, roughly
Could
the
be
same...
an aftershock, you know.
Well, it's roughly the same magnitude, roughly the same amount of kills, you know. So, well, I'm going to look this up. Where is Kayanagadar, India? Let's see if it's in western India. Let's see here. Images. Map. Let's see. Yeah, it's western India, so I think this might be the same thing, or maybe it is two different earthquakes. I don't know. Like... Maybe it is. Maybe that's why there's a discrepancy. I don't know. Anyway, 1967, speaking of the Beatles, their Apple Music signed its first group, Grapefruit.
What?
Yeah. And apparently there was a group called Grapefruit, and they were signed by Beatles' Apple Music. So, while that was going on, the People's Front for the Liberation of Palestine, the PFLP, was established. Yep. Liberation of Palestine. 1967, supersonic airliner prototype Concorde was first shown in France.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1968, U.S. Soccer Football Association refused to let NASL disband. Okay. I guess a North American Soccer League,
I guess.
maybe. We also have Libya adopting their constitution 365 days later in 1969, so that's pretty cool. Then in 1971...
Was Gaddafi around in 69? I think he was.
Muammar Gaddafi reign. 42, yeah. 42 to 2011. Wow, that's a... Actually, no, that has to be his life. That has to be his life.
Yeah.
Ruled Libya from 69 until his killing in 2011.
Well,
okay.
So he came into power that year.
This might be... well, I mean... This is near the end of the year, so if he's not in his power, yeah, he will be, like, very soon.
That sounds like...
Maybe this is it.
Yeah, maybe that's
So,
his power doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yep. What else do we got here? 1971, a bomb exploded outside a furniture showroom on the mainly Protestant and Loyalist Shankill Road in Belfast. 4 civilians, including 2 babies, were killed and 19 others were wounded. That is awful.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 babies.
Yeah.
That's... Words cannot express. That is just... That's awful. 1971, the the Libertarian Party of the United States was formed. Hey, I'm an there.
Yeah.
Are you still a Republican, or are you
No,
a
I'm
libertarian? All right. Like, you know, and leave it to this country.
They kind of faded. I thought they'd grow much more than they did.
Yeah. Well.
They faded.
Well, you know, especially the candidate apparently from 2020 was a complete not good. I had no idea. I just wrote in Vermin Supreme. The Libertarian candidate. I was having a conversation with Jacob Peach just last night, you know, about it, and I didn't know about what's her face. But no, anyway, but no, like it was funny. I used to be a registered Republican. You know, like back when I first turned 18, I registered for registering for vote. You know, I was on the Republican Party, you know, and all that stuff, yada yada. But then, like, there was some kind of like we were going to the store, we were going grocery shopping. You know, Mom, you and I, we were all there and everything. And I just randomly asked, "Oh, like, do you know how I can change my political party?" Because like I wanted to switch to Libertarian. You know, after you had told me about them and I had looked into them, and I'm like, you know what, I'm more of a Libertarian than a Republican, you know, than anything else.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Libertarian constitutionalist.
Yeah.
You know, and then like, you know, right then and there, like, oh, I have the form. Yeah. So right there, before we're going in from at the grocery store, only in the United States.
Yeah.
Can you do that? You know, just so
you can sign up a first time. You can change your party. You can, you know, do whatever you want. Yeah. as far as registering.
But see, that makes me think, what's stopping somebody from just changing their party, like, every day? Do people do that? Like, that has got
Why
to...
would you do that?
I don't know. Just to watch the world burn,
And I don't understand these primaries we have, where you can, and we can do it here in our state. Didn't used to, but you can now. You can cross over. What's the point of having a party?
Yeah.
If I can go and vote Republican or Democrat instead of Libertarian, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's a primary
You join
for
something.
your party.
You join something because that is something you believe in, and that's the flag you fly.
But do I want a Democrat or Republican voting in the Libertarian primary? Why would I want that?
I don't know.
It's a primary for your party.
That's a good conversation for the peanut.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, 1972, U.S. astronauts Eugene Cernan and Harrison Jack Schmitz become 11th and 12th people on the moon. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
And 1972, and see, here's the thing. I was just thinking, some people, and, even I, almost didn't add this into the show because, 11th and 12th, whoop-de-doo. Mm-hmm. But have I been to the moon? No. So, you know what?
To the moon, Alice, to the moon.
Give credit where credit is due. 1972, New York Jets' Don Maynard became all-time pro reception leader at 632. I wonder if that's been broken. Probably. So,
72, most likely.
all-time pro reception leader.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Let's just look that up here.
Yeah, I think what's his name from San Francisco, Giants.
Who is the reception leader all-time? Jay Rice.
Jerry
1,000.
Rice.
Yeah, Jerry Rice.
That's what I was trying to think, from San Francisco.
1,000. Okay, so it's been broken by leaps and bounds. So, all right. 1973, Houston Astro Cesar Cadeno jailed for the death of a 19-year-old woman. What? What happened? Oh, is this the one Is this when he hit the foul ball or something, hit a woman and killed her or something, or oh, here we go. Authorities said Cedeno and the woman were drinking and playing with a gun. Oh God. Oh no, I don't need to read the rest.
I remember that. They tried to hide it or something. Yeah.
Wow. That is stupid. That is stupid. Yeah. Drinking and driving is already you know how I am with driving.
Yeah.
A gun? That's another level beyond that. Oh my God, that is idiocy. That is idiocy. 1973, NA Soccer League awarded LA, San Francisco, Seattle, and Vancouver franchises. All right. Part B. 1973, West German Chancellor Willy Brandt normalized trade with Czechoslovakia. All right. 1975, U.S. first-class postage raised from 10 cents to 13.
That's a hell of a jump.
Yeah.
That's 30%.
That is, yeah. 1977, Mayrid Corrigan and Betty Williams, leaders of the group Peace People, that's concerning, an organization dedicated to encouraging a peaceful resolution of the troubles in Northern Ireland, received the Nobel Peace Prize. All right, yeah, so the troubles, it's called that for a reason. A lot of troubles going on. So we also have in 1978, six masked men bound 10 employees at Lufthansa cargo area at New York City Kennedy Airport and made off with $5.8 million in cash and jewelry. All of the participants and some associates were later killed on order of the alleged organized crime mastermind.
Oh, man.
Loot never recovered. Whoa.
Oh, man.
That's literally something out of the first scene of The Dark Knight. With the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
When he kills all the henchmen, and have all the henchmen kill each other and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. That is holy crap. 1979, Geoff Boycott scored cricket century in a limited over international.
Again, you got cricket in here.
Well, because of his last name, Boycott.
That's why?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
No, I didn't care about the cricket part, really. It's just what a name. Because if he does something bad, that means you boycott the boycott. And wouldn't that be how do you boycott a boycott? That's
it's easy. You boycott.
Yeah. 1980, Magnum P.I. starring Tom Selleck premiered on CBS.
Yeah. That was a good show.
Yeah, it was. 1980 as well, the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liberty Act, known as either CERCLA or Superfund, was enacted by the U.S. Congress. That sounds shady. Do you know anything about that?
Not a fan.
Let's look up. God, why am I yawning so much? I guess I need to go out for a walk or something. But let's see here. The program is administered by the Environmental Protection Agency. Oh, that is shady. So here, let me add that into the underbar section. So CERCLA, CERCLA. So, all right. 1981, Argentine President General Roberto Viola fled. Yep, Argentina. Always
okay.
at rest.
Yeah.
So, 81 as well. We have the El Mozote massacre. Salvadorian armed forces killed an estimated 900 civilians in an anti-guerrilla campaign during the country's civil war. Jesus. Like, that is, wow. Yeah, that's why people gotta stand up before it gets to that point, Stop rolling over. 1981, former world heavyweight boxing champion Muhammad Ali's 61st and last fight lost to Trevor Berbick by unanimous decision in 10 rounds at Queen Elizabeth Sports Center. God damn it, what's going on with me? Nassau, Bahamas. Pardon me, Jewel Chicky for the GD right now. I'm just incessant yawning. It's annoying me. 1981, Space Lab 1 arrived at Kennedy Space Center. Yep, our space station. Space Lab.
Oh, okay.
Yep. 1983, first visit to Lutheran Church by a Pope, John Paul II in Rome. Good old Grandpa Pope. Yeah, John Paul, he did a lot of firsts, did a lot of, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like,
He's pretty progressive.
Say what you want about the papacy and Catholicism in Vatican City, which I would most likely not argue with anything anybody has to say about that. But John Paul II, he was really good. Like, I'm pretty sure some people out there don't like him. I mean, like, they had to invent the Pope Mobile because people kept trying to kill this guy. Like, I don't know why. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, he was a great guy. A great Pope. Just a great human being. It's just too bad the position he held has so much darkness in its skeleton closet, so to speak. Anyway, 1985, computer store owner in Sacramento, California, killed by a package bomb. Whoa.
Oh man.
That's not cool.
No.
What's going on? Yeah, we were a couple weeks ago spoke about some random mayor somewhere dying from a letter bomb. And it was just like people really did, send explosives through postage to kill people. And that's pretty crazy. 1985, Dow Jones closed above 1,500 for the first time, specifically 1,511.70, whatever that means. I'm not an economist. While that was going on, General Electric acquired RCA Corp and its subsidiary NBC. Ooh. General Electric, a power company, now owns a TV station. That's
that was a long time ago.
That's kind of like like propaganda potential right there. Buy our power, make us a monopoly. Kind of like how SoCal Edison, is a monopoly out here. They can do whatever the hell they want with our electric bill. We have no choice. I hate that.
Well, you got a little bit of choice now. You can do solar.
Well, which is subsidized through SoCal, Southern SoCal Edison.
Well, you got
it's all connected.
Them, yeah.
Yeah, it's all connected. 1985, NHL record 62 points scored. Edmonton 36 defeated Chicago 26, 12-9, and tied record for 21 goals. All right. 1986, South Africa censored press. It's during the last throes of apartheid.
Yeah.
So, before Nelson Mandela got out of prison. Did not die in prison, hence the whole Mandela effect and everything, which I finally made you aware of not too long ago.
Yeah.
What else do we got here? 1990, the U.S. 69th manned space mission STS-35 on Columbia 11 returned from space. All right. And we were talking about this yesterday, 1991.
Oh, yeah. Hook.
Hook. A swashbuckling, I love that. It's a swashbuckling film sequel to the Peter Pan story, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman, premiered.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. 1992, a nor'easter storm hits New York, doing $1 billion worth of damage. How many billion? Was it 1 billion? Is it plural? Like, no, look, right here. Yeah. It's just a dollar sign. It says billion dollar sign. Like, it doesn't give me a number.
Yeah.
That's weird. Okay. 1994, Russian Federation forces attacked the city of Grozny, beginning the First Chechnyan War, in which the Chechen Republic of Ishikria gained its independence from Russia. Mm-hmm. All right. So they got attacked, and then they gained their independence. That's a rarity, but pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know. 1995, Thomas O. Hicks bought the NHL Dallas Stars for $84 million. Okay. Yeah, pardon me. In 1997, delegates from 150 industrial nations attending a UN climate conference in Kyoto, Japan, reached an agreement to control heat-trapping greenhouse gases. Yep. 97 as well, federal judge ordered Microsoft not to bundle IE4 with Windows. Whatever that is. They needed a federal judge to tell them not to bundle it. So what?
Yeah.
Like
creating a monopoly, you know.
Ah, okay. That would make sense. Which they did anyway. It's actually more like a co-monopoly. If there's anything like is there a word for like a bipartisan monopoly system? Because you're either with Microsoft or you're with Apple, or if you're smart, you're with Linux. Which I still got to figure out how to get into Linux. I'm not sure if Linux can do, what I need to do. Although I'm very simple and everything. I just gotta figure these things out. But yeah, anyway, 1998, Thai Airways Airbus A310-200 crash near Surat Thani Airport, killing 101. Yikes.
Where did it crash?
Surat Thani Airport.
Where is that?
Well, let's see. It's Surat Thani Airport. International Airport in Hua Soi, Thailand. Alright. We also have, finally in the year 2001, the People's Republic of China joined the World Trade Organization. That is a very dangerous thing right there. Yikes.
It worked out that way.
Oh, man. And in 2002, I added this just for our resident Wisconsinite, Alice Philblalis. Joe Sakic scored his 500th career goal at Vancouver. Mm-hmm. All right. 2005, Cronulla riots. Thousands of white Australians demonstrated against ethnic violence, resulting in a riot against anyone who thought to be Lebanese and many who were not in Cronulla, Sydney. These are followed by ethnic attacks on Cronulla. Oh, jeez. It just never goes good for anybody whenever things turn violent.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It doesn't.
2005 as well, the Buncefield Oil Department in Hemel Hempstead, England, was rocked by explosions, causing a huge oil fire. Yikes. So, we also have in 2005, Twyla Tharp's rock ballet Moving Out, set to songs by Billy Joel, closed at the Richard Rogers Theater in New York City after 1,303 performances. That's pretty good. Yeah. 2006, International Conference to Review the Global Vision of the Holocaust was opened in Tehran, Iran, by Mohammed Ahmadinejad. Wow. Oh, we're still talking about the Holocaust. Why don't we ever talk about what Russia did to themselves? What Japan did to China? Why are we, Holocaust happened. The Holocaust was awful. I'm not going to dispute that. But there are other things that were far worse.
What culture did the Russians starve to death?
The Bolsheviks? No, they took over.
Yeah.
You're talking about just the farmers and everything?
Yeah, well, it was a culture of people,
and they basically took all their food to sell on the world market to raise capital.
Oh yeah,
and left them to starve.
Yeah, just all the farmers and everything, the peasants.
I want to say the ones.
Russian genocide. Let's see here. No, that's modern day. Hold on, World War II. Soviet Jews? No. No.
It was their own people.
Yeah. Russia killed their own people. What culture?
Or starved their own people.
Circassian?
No. How far back is that? This is,
I don't know.
This is when the Bolsheviks took over. The Russian Communist Party took over. So,
who did the Bolsheviks kill?
Starved, I guess.
Starved.
Killed, but starved.
Who did the Bolsheviks starve? 5 million Russians during the Great Famine. Yada yada. It's not telling me who the name. How many people died? How did the Bolsheviks respond to the famine? Who was responsible? It's not telling me the name of the people. If anybody can figure that out, please let us know in the comment section. Anyway, we're going to move on up here. Where were we? 2007, 2 car bombs went off at the Constitutional Court building in Algiers and the United Nations office. An estimated 45 people were killed in the bombings. Holy crap. Like, you know, like that's a lot of people with just 2 car bombs. Like, yikes. 2008, Bernie Madoff was arrested and charged with securities fraud in a $50 billion Ponzi scheme. Yikes!
Amazing that guy pulled off.
Yep.
Even his own family didn't, and sons work for him, and they didn't even know it.
Jeez, what a scumbag! 2009, Angry Birds, a Finnish puzzle video game, was released internationally. What a stupid! I remember that. Yeah. All right, like, and a game a lot of people don't really remember is Flappy Birds. And,
never heard of that.
And that's, well, it was such a crap game, and there's been so many spin-offs and such of that, but like, you literally, like, you have to tap to flap, but you have to, like, here, like, let me show you.
No,
like,
let's not go
no,
there.
Flap
God.
Birds. Flappy Birds. No, I'll just show you, like, it's literally, like, you have to tap, you know, to go up.
And down.
And no, but you go down naturally, so you have to navigate your way through the pipes.
And it gets harder and harder.
Yeah. And that was Flappy Bird. So yeah, really, really stupid. But I had it on not my current phone, but on my previous phone, because like eventually it was taken off the market. But if you still had it on your phone, now you have digital, like, you know, archaeological, like, you know, stuff.
Yeah.
It's no longer available. You know.
Right.
And once it's gone, it's gone. Like, you know, like unlike real world, you know, it's well, you can delete stuff in the real world and stuff, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Anyway. 2009, Tiger Woods announced an indefinite leave from professional golf to focus on his marriage. Yeah, after he got caught, you know.
Yeah.
2010, 2 explosions occurred in a busy shopping district of Stockholm, Sweden, killing 1 and injuring 2 others. Officials says the incident is being treated as a terrorist attack. I wonder if anybody claimed responsibility for that. 2012, 125 people were killed and 200 additional were injured by bombings in Akrab, Syria. And we also have a British physicist, Stephen Hawking, won the $3 million Fundamental Physics Prize, the most lucrative academic prize in the world. Hell yeah. Rest in peace, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
You know, despite him not believing in a soul and any of that, I believe that he's in heaven, you know, solving mathematical equations for God. Because if anybody would be able to, it would be him. So, 2012, HSBC Bank settled with U.S. authorities to pay $1.9 billion for drug cartel money laundering. Wow. 2013, 20 people were killed by the bubonic plague in a small Madagascan village. Whoa.
Geez.
I mean, the plague is still around, you know. Like, we have, you know, modern medicine and such, you know, cures it. We have a cure for it, but that doesn't mean it's gone.
If you have access, the poor countries don't have access to it.
Yeah, that's true. Although there is SARS, like, hasn't SARS been eradicated other than, like, what we have in a library somewhere?
I don't know.
So,
no idea.
I'm not sure. 2013, Pope Francis was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year, and I haven't really heard much about this guy. I've heard a couple bad things, though. I'm not sure, so I don't know. 2014, CIA Director John Brennan defended interrogation methods used after 9/11, but admitted some methods were abhorrent. Yep. 2014, oh my goodness. Okay. World's first penis transplant procedure by a team from Stellenbosch University and Tygerberg Hospital in Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay.
Well, you know, now we have, you know, a Johnson swap. So, 2015, Playboy magazine published its last nude issue, features Pamela Anderson on the cover. All right. 2015, unrest in Burundi led to clashes between authorities and protesters in Bujumbura, killing at least 87. Yikes. And then 1 year later, 2016, bombing at a chapel in Cairo, Egypt, kills 25 and wounds 45 more. Yikes. You know, church, mosque, synagogue, temple, whatever it is, you know, like there's just areas where you just don't do things. You know, I don't care how much hate you have in your heart. You know, just there's some areas in the world where you just leave people alone, you know? And that's especially in religious areas. I'm sorry. 2016, Kazakhstan voted in a referendum to change the constitution to give the government more power. That is not a good move.
No.
Whoa! Huh. Very stupid. 2017, an attempted, self-annihilation terrorist bomb attack in New York wounded 3. The bomb failed to fully detonate. Okay. So, how does something half explode? It just explode, and then oh, never mind. I don't know. But thankfully, it didn't fully detonate. 2017, landmark trial for Huntington's disease in London announced positive results. First time a drug has been able to slow an incurable brain disorder. Ooh, that's nice.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia announced an end to its 35-year ban on cinemas, so now people can go see movies and everything. And that's right. I remember, we were talking about him just yesterday. Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh.
He does a whole bit about going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But they had to go all the way out into the desert because any form of entertainment in the city was prohibited by law. So they had to go all the way out,
I remember
to
that whole
BFE.
bit. It's a good funny bit.
Yeah, and he goes on about the first time he was actually called an American comedian, not a Latina comedian.
Oh.
Because if he was a Latina comedian, he'd be on Telemundo or whatever. As he said, he's a comedian that happens to be Latino.
Yeah, right.
He's of the United States. He is a United States citizen, a U.S. and American comedian.
Yeah.
But people don't call him that, especially even here. He had to go all the way to Saudi Arabia to be called what he actually is.
And I agree with what you're saying, but
His humor is.
Well, no, that's what he said. I'm literally quoting what he said.
I know, but it's also his humor.
Yeah.
Is an ethnic humor. So,
Oh yeah.
So that's where it comes from too.
Yeah. What are you doing with all these cakes? It's bakery. I love it. Anyway, 2017 as well. Yeah, he is. We both remember this one. 6 wildfires in Southern California now cover an area larger than New York City and Boston combined. Can you imagine that amount of land on fire at once? That's what we live through out here in California. It's pretty wild stuff. 2018, the Arctic is experiencing unprecedented warmth caused by human-caused climate change. BS. Propaganda crap. According to U.S. National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration report. Yeah, human-caused.
It's not. Yeah.
I mean, are we causing some of it? Yes. Is it any form of a significant amount? Hell no. Yeah, we're a drop in the bucket. Yeah, we can do things, but in the grand scheme of things, we're a flea's sneeze in the face of a wildebeest fart.
And if Mother Nature gets pissed off at what we're doing, it'll clean up the mess.
Oh yeah, no problem.
That's the point.
It'll clean us up faster than Gavin Newsom cleaned out San Francisco. Tell you what. So, bringing politics directly into the show. Anyway, 2018 Time Magazine Person of the Year 2018 is The Guardian's journalists targeted for their work, including Jamal Khashoggi, whatever. All right. 2019, Bougainville voted to become independent of Papua New Guinea in a referendum. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And this is what I was talking about. 2019, climate activist Greta Thunberg is named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Very fitting, as I said, to fit alongside Austrian. So, I mean, with her mentality and everything. But then again, she is a puppet. I can't rag on her too much. She's brainwashed, the poor girl. So. 2019, India passed controversial citizenship amendment bill clearing way for citizenship for immigrants from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan, but not if they are Muslim. So, okay.
What? Are you kidding me?
So, just...
what country was this again?
India. Okay, well, that's why it's controversial. Okay. Yeah. So, hey, anybody in a Muslim nation, you're allowed to come here if you're not Muslim. Okay, good luck with that trickle. 2019, militants attacked an army base in 80s, Niger, killing at least 71. Islamic State claim responsibility. Yikes. Oh man, we have quite a few articles left here. 2020, European Union leaders agreed to cut net carbon emissions by 55% in the next decade. There's more of that climate crap.
Yeah.
We also have the first same-sex civil union registered in Bolivia after a 2-year legal battle by activists. Well, I'm all for that.
Oh, sure.
Like let people love each other within consent.
Of course, with consent.
Yeah. Well, people come up like, love is love. It's like, not between a 13-year-old and a 20-year-old. Come on. Anyway, 2020, gunmen storm a school in Kankara, Katsina State, northern Nigeria, kidnapping more than 300 students. Boko Haram later claims responsibility. I know that name. That is yikes. Ugh. 2020 as well. U.S. Supreme Court rejected lawsuits by TDH to overturn Joe Brandon's election in 4 battleground states endorsed by 17 Republican attorney generals. Yeah, they're still fighting stuff like this now. Like, just recently they're talking about their findings with the stuff in Arizona. Remember a couple months ago?
Yeah.
So, but, man, by the time they get all this stuff figured out, it's going to be 2050. It's ridiculous. 2022, just last year, Karen Bass, sworn in as first female mayor of Los Angeles by Vice President Kamala Harris, declared a homelessness state of emergency in the city. Yeah, you think?
So they put her Kamala Harris up there in the picture, not for swearing
not
her
Karen
in.
Bass.
Why didn't they put Karen Bass up there?
Well, because Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
So. We also have Mark Scheinman and Scott Whitman's musical Some Like It Hot, based on the 1959 feature film comedy, opened at the Schubert Theater, New York City, garners 13 Tony Award nominations. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of nominations there. We also have NASA's Orion spacecraft return to Earth after completing Artemis 1 test flight around the moon in 25.5 days. Record distance traveled by a spacecraft designed to carry humans. We were talking about Artemis last weekend. We're going back to the moon. That's our modern day Apollo missions, Artemis.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And then we also have, last but not least, U.S. authorities announced that the Libyan man accused of making the bomb on board Pan Am Flight 103, Abu Aguila Masoud, is now in U.S. custody.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
And that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on YouTube, we're not just on Rumble, we're on BitChute, we're on Odyssey, we're on all sorts of other places. Anyway, for your dose of fast events daily, we stream almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Our other shows, we do the Omni Coalition News Show on Fridays, we have the Peanut on Sundays, we have ThEoD on Saturdays, and we're still in the works of doing the Omni Kitchen and Inosh and some other stuff. But anyway, for all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, are you. Thank you again so much for watching. And until you see us again, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! And that's